welcome. Go ahead and gather just a couple of tools nearby. Some of you might want to grab a pen and paper or a notebook. Completely fine. I would highly encourage it. We're going to go over some really key points that will help you better understand why we have imbalance and this disharmony when we're surrounded and impacted by our environment and that which we're receiving and taking in. So I'm going to give you a few moments to gather a journal. Go ahead and gather any writing utensils that you need for this clinic this morning. We're going to go over what are doshas. We're going to go over what is Ayurveda. And we're going to go over quickly what both of them are together and why they impact us so much, why it's really important to understand both the Ayurvedic principles, because Ayurveda does work hand in hand with our Dosha Constitutions, or that is the Dosha Constitutions, but work really well with our Koshas. So our Koshas are the 5 layers that are the manifest of the abstract body. And that's what we're going to dive into today. So welcome everyone. I'm Christina. I'll be your host and your teacher and your guide. And we're going to go ahead and get started. If you like, for the second portion of our clinic this morning, you want to have your yoga mat with you. And you'll see I have a chair here for those of you that prefer to do yoga in the chair. And I'm also right behind in front of a wall, so you can use the wall for support. We always want to make the practice adaptable and accessible for everybody, so everyone's included. This is an inclusive practice. So let's start with just a couple of grounding rules. So begin with sitting very comfortably, close your eyes for a moment, and let's set the intention for today's clinic and workshop. I'm really excited that you're all here. And just close your eyes for a moment while everyone else is joining us this morning. Good. And just take a couple of breaths to ground and settle. Very nice. Beautiful. Jai Gurudev. Go ahead and open the eyes. Lovely. Well, welcome everyone. And those of you that are just joining us, I'm Christina, founder of Bhakti Yoga Foundation and Bhakti University School of Yoga and Ayurveda. And today we are here to go over the Koshas and the Doshas, very quick clinic workshop and class. And so what you're going to receive out of this class is, first and foremost, understanding the basics of Ayurveda and the basics of the Koshas and how we integrate them together as we live our daily lives and restore balance into our daily routines. So I want to thank you for joining us. Please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for free classes, as well as our Instagram. I want to invite you there to visit us on Instagram as well, here on Facebook, to follow, to share, and to support one another with whatever resources I am able to provide for you. And of course, your feedback is always welcome. So please comment below and offer any suggestions you would like for our next clinic. So Ayurveda, is the literal translation, means the science of life. Ayur and Veda. Ayur is the science of life, of the naturalness of our well-being and the manifest of the physiology. And Veda just simply means knowledge. It just means knowledge, receiving information. And so Ayurveda is literally translated as the knowledge of the science of life. And so doshas, I like to call them the 3 little doshas. And the 3 little doshas are VPK, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Vata, the constitution for Vata is very light and airy, very light build, thin build for the most part. I think of them more of a social butterfly, always kind of everywhere. The mind is always moving. They're a big fan of the vrittis. They keep going. They're nonstop, and they have a very imbalanced way of eating, and they eat very sporadically. I am a big Vata, so I speak from also experience. And so we're very, very flighty and very social, really engaged with our community, with our family. We love to be around people and we love to share. So the imbalance with that is that we overindulge in the sharing. Sometimes we take on too much. We don't have healthy boundaries. We don't rest properly. We don't have a healthy routine and a schedule. So over the course of the next few weeks, we're going to be really focusing on creating a purposeful schedule and daily routine to commit to. Now, our Pittas are our go-getters. They're really fiery personalities. We really think of them as the solar plex chakra on fire, right? And their element, so Vata's element is air and ether and spaciousness and just openness, big openness. While Pitta is very fiery and 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 they also have a balance of water. So they have the extreme fiery sense of self, but they also have this like mobile, this connection to the water element that they're able to find a nice balance between the two. And so that fiery personalities, sometimes they could be a little bit sharper, they could be a little bit more aggressive. They're definitely the kind of people you want to have in a business. You want your Pitta personalities to be your business managers because they don't take no for an answer and they will find a way to make it happen. So we love Pitta for their go-getter and fiery personalities. And they tend to like a lot of spicier food. Their digestion is pretty on point. They don't have any money problems with their digestive tract because they have so much fire in this area to process it all. And then we come to Kapha. Kaphas are the really sweet and heavier build. They're really slower. They're really conscious. They take a lot of time to do anything. They're kind of go with the flow. They avoid conflict. They're very good with money. They don't like to spend it. They actually like to hold on to it. And if they really, really need to spend it, they will. They have more of an unctuous personality. They're more oily, more heavier set, and even their speech is a little bit slower. You can even tell, like when I talk about kaphas, I even change the tone of my voice because it's more of that. They're like your grandma type of personality that you just want to hug them and embrace them. And kaphas, it's really sweet because we tend to have a balance between all three of them. And I'm a Vata Kapha Pitta, so for me personally, I am very flighty, very all over the place, come up with a lot of ideas. And like a kapha, it takes a lot to motivate me, to get me to do it. And then my pitta personality will pop in from time to time and be like, okay, we got to get this done, or it's never going to get done. So we have a constitutional makeup of all three. So if you haven't taken the test yet, I'm going to encourage you to go over to mapi.com. It's the Maharishi Ayurveda website where you can take the Dosha Constitution quiz and find out what yours is. We have three of them, remember, and they can all be in very different percentages, but they all are a part of our karmic and constitutional makeup. We were born with these doshic qualities. Now let's just quickly go over the qualities of our Vata, Pitta, and Kaphas. So Vata is drier, so sometimes they have like dry cuticles or drier skin, but they're also very lightweight, and they also tend to be a little colder at times. So sometimes you might find that they might be into themselves, even though they're not. But just the way that they come across could be a little bit colder or a little bit rougher. But they are really subtle and really mobile and agile. So keep that in mind. There is a happy balance. And as you can see, there's these two balances of opposites because every single one of our doshic constitutions, we have something called the gunas. Now we have three gunas that we work with in yoga, which are not affiliated to the gunas of Ayurveda, which we'll get to in a second. Now, Pitta constitutions of their qualities are they're very hot tempered. So these are the students that, or the personalities, the people that get hot quickly. They tend to run hot. So they eat spicy food like it's nothing. They are really sharp-witted. They are very quick to learn something and retain it and apply it. As Vatas are quick to learn something, but then they forget as quickly as they learned it. Kaphas, on the other hand, will learn something and they might forget it and it takes a couple times. But once a kapha gets it, they will never forget it. Kaphas are like a storehouse of information. Um, Pittas really enjoy spreading their knowledge and connecting with their community. They also really enjoy quality products. They are the types of students that you will see would invest their money in a higher end luggage, knowing all of the qualities that are behind it versus a Vata personality that will find something that's pretty and cute and just buy it, right? So it's very different. They look deeper into things and they see the bigger picture most of the time for our Pittas. Vatas, not so much, right? Vatas they see it now and then they move on to the next thing and then they forget. And Kaphas see everything. Kaphas see everything and they like to take it easy. They like to take it slow, which you hear me saying a lot. They are the observers. They are the ones with the wisdom. So it's really nice to have all three on your team, or really tune into all three and allow them to manifest that balance for yourself when we go through these qualities. Now let's go to the qualities. So there's 20 gunas, and these 20 gunas are 10 sets of opposites. In our mini course, we go a little bit more in depth, and then we also have a little infographic that shows the differences and the opposites and like polar opposites basically of each constitution. So we'll get into that in the course later on today, which you can sign up for, and it's use the code Kosha21 for 10% off of that course. And then it's evergreen, so you can go to it whenever you want and then continue to follow through and do all of the modules. So we're gonna go ahead and get into some movement now, but I'm gonna run up to the screen real quick and see if there's any questions for me. And this is a really great time, if you do have any questions, to pop them in. And then also, before we get into the movement, I just wanna, hi friends, hi Ali, good, all right. So before we get into the movement, we're gonna go over the koshas really fast. I know we've worked on them all week, and if you've gotten the emails all week, then you've gotten tidbits of information about every single one of the koshas. So we're gonna go through the koshas real fast, and just keep in mind this video will replay afterwards, so you can come back to it right here and write down all the notes that you like. Okay. So we begin with the outer layer. The outer layer, the physical layer of the body, the surroundings. This is Annamaya Kosha. This is the kosha that we are receiving and taking in the light, the home, the space, this camera, everything that's going on, how many people are watching, who cares, right? All those things that we're taking in and receiving. How are we receiving that? Is it pretty outside? Is it raining outside? What happened before that? How did it affect and impact me? Anything like that is going to be the outside, the outer layer. Think of that as the eggshell, the outer of the shell, right? Then we go inside. So everything that we've been taking in, any food that we're eating, any music that we're listening to, anybody that we're listening to and studying with, we're taking all of that in. And then when we take all of that in, we need to process it, just like when we eat something. When we eat something, it goes into the mouth, and then we start to process it, and then it digests. That digestion process is known as pranamaya kosha. We are breathing energy into, fueling that information that's coming into our bodies. And so when that comes into our bodies, we process it, and the natural physiology of our body takes in that information and processes it. Determining what our dosha constitution is will determine how the body will manifest its own physiology based on what we're receiving. And that's just the first two koshas. So how we're taking in our food, how we're taking in the people that we surround ourselves with, how we're taking all of this energy work in. Sometimes you might say, oh, I don't really feel that person, like those vibes aren't working for me. Chances are you're pretty in tune with that dosha constitution, that intuition, and you're also tuning into that kosha. So you're tuning into that energy field. You're processing and you're receiving. So all of this information comes in, and then what do we have to do with it? Now we have to think about it. So we've taken everything in, we're processing it. The body is receiving what needs to nourish and letting go what doesn't. It's composing up the physiology being our manifest body, physical way of being, everything about us, how we're expressing ourselves. And we move ourselves into what is known as Manamaya Kosha. Manamaya Kosha is the intellect. This is kind of more of like the feeling level. So now I'm able to attach feelings to what I've just received and what I processed. So if someone said something to me that was kind of hurtful, or what I may perceive as hurtful, then that hurtful sensation will be within my body and in my makeup. And I might have tension somewhere in my body. Maybe my heart hurts, my knee, somewhere in my body. I'm going to hold that tension and I'm going to be thinking about those words, and it becomes a cycle and it becomes a process. And depending on if I'm a Vata, I'm going to probably think about it. I'm going to think about all the different reasons about it. I'm going to null on it. If I'm a Pitta, I'm going to think about it and then I'm going to disregard it because it doesn't progress me in any way or it doesn't do anything for me. So I'm just going to let it go because I'm going to be focused on other things that do. And if I'm Kapha, Kaphas tend to sit on it quite a bit and they actually prevent them from moving forward if it's something hurtful. Now, if it's the complete opposite, and it's something elated and we're vibrating high from it, then everyone around you is going to feel that same energy. Your body's going to respond differently. Your mental capacity of what it is processing it is going to twist it. It's going to think about it in a very different way, as opposed to if you thought about it from the first perspective in the mental intellect of something negative. Sometimes those things that are negative in our perception are actually an undercover blessing, low key, that we were just looking through blinders instead of taking the blinders off. Sometimes we get what we wish for without even realizing it. So it's something to keep in mind in these different imbalances in life, because sometimes what we're putting out there, and now just these three koshas, along now with our Dosha Constitutions, is projecting. So we're projecting this law of attraction. So what we're putting out there is what we're receiving. That's part of the balance. It's part of the imbalance and it's part of the balance. So really be mindful of our mindset. When we receive information, when we process information, how we express information. The intellect gives us the ability to creatively express, and that can be from singing, from mantra, from writing, from music, guitar playing, anything that you express yourself, art, yoga, anything. So we go into now from the mental into the wisdom, which is Vijnanamaya Kosha. So once we take in and we set aside the time to think about what just happened, how we're receiving it, how it was processed, then we come into the intuition and the wisdom intellect. We are now allowing ourselves this time to transcend into higher states of consciousness. When we go to higher states of consciousness, we are giving ourselves the ability and the opportunity to become aware and embrace all things that are bigger than ourselves, beyond the physical plane, beyond the Annamaya. The intention and the goal is to take everything that's from the outside abstract world and allow it to come right into the center space of our body, and then be able to offer it from a completely different perspective once we've processed it and seen it from a bigger picture. The Vijnanaya Kosha tends to be located around the third eye chakra. So it does correlate right back into the chakra system. So that's another video from another time that y'all can go back and watch. And the Agnya chakra is the chakra of intuition. It is the manifest of our creation. It works in alignment with the mental expression of what we've processed. And so it comes to us from a bigger picture because we are now allowing the transcendent spaces to open us up to this vast expansion of knowledge, Veda, traditional wisdom, that we have housed within ourselves. We start to realize and start to change within ourselves as we start doing this inner work. And it's not easy. It is hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. As we move up, going to higher states of consciousness and going into the spaces of sadhus, it can be a pretty lonely place. And when we surround ourselves with other like-minded folks, we start to see quite a bit of other friends and cohorts that are also sharing that same space because they are opening themselves to the spirit that dwells within. And not everybody can see or be a part of that as of right now. It takes time to get there. And that's why this is hard work. These koshas and doshas, working together with them, it's really hard. And that's where we find the imbalance, the disharmony in our lives. We put too much attention on the minute and not enough on zooming out and seeing the big picture. So it's not about being so focused on the tiny, minute quality. It's about being focused on all qualities, on all things. When we ascend ourselves to what is known as Anandamaya Kosha, which is the bliss body, the innermost, but the thousand petal lotus that takes us straight to divine consciousness, we embody pure being. We embody pure oneness. So all of our imbalances now come into balance. All of the hot and the cold, the sticky and the cloudy, the light and the heavy, everything comes together and finds itself in union, in harmony. You see something bigger than what you've always seen from the human perspective. You see from the spiritual being of whom which you are. So we begin this class today with alternate nasal breathing. When we combine alternate nasal breathing, I chose alternate nasal breathing specifically because in Maharishi Ayurveda, we utilize it through our asana practice to prepare us for meditation. In most yoga traditions and in most yoga teacher trainings, we utilize what is known as alternate nasal breathing or nadi shodhana. And we utilize it so that we can balance out what are called nadi channels, which is part of the subtle body, which you will learn in the mini course. These, think of a caduce, the medical symbol with the two snakes wrapping around that center pole. Those two snakes would be Ida and Pingala, and these are yin and yang, sun and moon, hatha yoga. So they balance out what is known as Sushumna Nadi, which is the center line of energy that stems right in. Typically, traditionally, you would probably in some schools call it around the pineal gland of the brain, but it goes right up through the center of the brain and out towards the sky. So it goes beyond the body into the ethers, which is where we come back to Vata, air, and ether. It goes through the center plumb line, which is fire and water, the balancing of the digestive tract along with the fluid that's within. And if you think about second chakra, Swadhisthana, we know that that's the water element. So it's in the lower part, lower region where we process. And then the root, the earth, is Kapha. And so we think of earth element, of grounding element. And so these come together here when we do our Nadi Shodhana. So let's begin. Please get comfortable. You can either sit in your chair, you can sit on the ground, you can sit upright. We're going to close the eyes and wait for about a moment, maybe 3 to 5 seconds. Notice what you feel. Observe the body. Notice from the crown down to the ankles. Notice your breath. And now using the right hand, go ahead and take the pointer finger and the middle finger and bring them down if that's comfortable for you. If it's not comfortable, then don't even worry about it. Don't stress, okay? And this is known as Vishnu Mudra. Vishnu Mudra is kind of like a surf's up dude, but instead of just the pinky and the thumb out, you're also going to leave the ring finger with the pinky, okay? And now you're going to take your thumb and you're going to cover the right nostril, and we're going to inhale through the left nostril. Cover the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Cover the right, exhale left. Inhale left. Cover the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Cover the right, exhale left. Very nice. Let's close the eyes if they aren't already. Inhale left. Cover the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Cover the right, exhale left. Last time, we end on the left. Relax the hands. Relax your jaw. Give yourself some time to connect to the breath. And then bring your chin towards your chest and begin to make a few circles with your head. And just notice any creaks, cracks, and pops that may be coming up for you here. Reverse a circle. Other direction. And then coming back to stillness, reach the arms up, reach for opposite elbows, extend, lengthen, push down through the hips, lift up through the elbows, lace in the ribs here, pull the belly in. And then exhale, take it over, drip over towards the left. Inhale, center, and towards the right. Inhale, back to center, extend the arms and change the arm position, change the grip. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, back to center, extend the arms up. Bend the elbows, palms together. Bring the hands to the back of the head, elbows up high, lace the ribs in. One more breath. And inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, release the hands down by your sides. We're going to transition now to sitting on our heels. If this is very uncomfortable for you, if you have a blanket or you have you want a chair, you can go ahead and sit in a chair. But if you have a blanket and a cushion, you can place the blanket behind your thighs. You can roll up your mat or you can place something underneath your knees and have some support here. And let's go ahead and stay here for 3 breaths. Big toe of the left for ladies over the right big toe. Gentlemen, you're going to have the right big toe over the left. Why? Because we're balancing out the harmony, masculine and feminine energy. Remain here for just a few more breaths. Be very mindful with your knees. However, Shankarasana is very, very good for your knees and it helps to move that fluid. And then on your next breath, we're going to go ahead and kindly transition into downward facing dog. Just getting a little bit of really, just a little intermediate movement going on here. So hands in front of you, remove any props, plant them nice and firm, tuck the toes, stretch out the bottoms of your feet, hips high to the sky. Nice deep breath. Let's walk the dog, paddle the feet. I'm going to go ahead and remove my props. Let's go ahead and step the right foot forward between the hands, left knee down to start, or you can use your cushion. Your fingers can touch the ground, or you can use a block for stability. Inhale, reach yourself up towards the sky, palms touch. Let's bend the elbows again, bring the hands to the back of the neck, lift the chest, squeeze through the lower abdominals, inner thighs squeeze towards one another, engage the glutes. Nice full breath. Notice where you're wiggling, you're wobbling. Notice any struggle, and then find the ease. Find the ease, the effortlessness. Let's stop efforting. No efforting. And then release the hands down either to that block, which I'll use to start, and then sweep the right arm up, and let's twist, open up to the side. Let's wring out that spinal fluid. Good morning, right? Or it could be evening or afternoon, whenever you see it, whenever you're listening. Pull yourself up, open up the arms to a T, and then revert backwards, right hand down, the left leg, left arm up towards the sky. Open up the chest and keep pressing the hips forward, but squeezing the inner thighs towards each other. This could be a very subtle movement, doesn't need to be too big. Please take the left elbow outside the right thigh, right hand presses on that left hand, elbow towards the sky, and press down to rise up. Inhale, sweep the arms back up through center, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands down towards the earth or towards your blocks. Please find downward facing dog. Bringing your feet towards one another, about hip distance would be preferred here, not too wide. Again, walk your dog. Stretch out the IT band, stretch out the hamstrings. Breathe into the calf muscles. And I always really like to encourage pressing towards the outside edges of your feet. And then let's take the left foot forward between the hands, right knee down. Use your supports here. Pull the energy in, sweep the arms up towards the sky. Palms touch, bend the elbows, lift the chest, engage. Breathe. Exhale, release the hands down to the earth. Palms touch the ground. Inhale, sweep the left arm up. Squeeze through the lower belly. Articulate the spine as you open up towards the sky. Exhale, palm comes down. Come up. And then we're going to be in a T position. Keep going. Left hand down the back right leg and right arm reaches up. Be very, very mindful with your psoas muscles here and your lower back. No need to go too deep. Now let's take that right elbow to the outside edge of that left thigh. Sweep the left arm up, over, and let them touch. Palms touch. Push down into that left hand and look up towards the sky. Gentle twist. Inhale, return back to center. Articulate slowly. Reach the arms up. On the exhale, bring the hands down towards the earth. Find your way into downward facing dog. Take 3 to 5 breaths here. Walk your dog, paddle your feet. Step your right foot forward. Keep the left knee lifted. Solidify the stance by squeezing the inner thighs. You can support yourself by walking up your leg, and let's come up to warrior one. If you prefer to use the chair, use the chair. Press actively through the back heel. Hands to heart center. Open up to a T towards the right and twist. Very good. Strong back leg. Fire it up. You got this. Believe in yourself. Good. Left hand, left elbow to the outside edge of the right thigh. Bring the right arm overhead. Palms touch. Keep squeezing. Back leg stick straight. Really active, energetic pull of the belly in. On the exhale, really firing up that Pitta. Breathing into that right glute. Inhale, let's come back to center. Reach the arms up. Exhale, hands down. Right foot meets the left foot. We're in plank position. Stabilize here for 3. Squeeze the inner thighs. Press the heels back for 2. Pull the crown forward. Pull the shoulders away from the ears for 3. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Inhale, step the left foot forward between the hands. Squeeze energetically, right foot towards left heel. Pull yourself up, warrior 1. Melt into the space. So you've noticed me say warrior 1 here, and it's really Alana, which is a high lunge pose, because my heel is lifted. But you have the option of keeping the heel lifted or the heel down, depending on the variation that's more comfortable. Bring the hands together, open up to a T towards the left. Squeeze the inner thighs, reach long through the fingers. Very good. Bend the right elbow, take it outside the left thigh. Palm of the left hand touches the right. Activate the right leg, start to twist. The belly draws in on the exhale. Gaze is soft, gaze looks up. Sweetly inhale, come all the way back to center, articulate the spine, squeeze everything, power up the core. Exhale, the hands come down to the earth, downward facing dog. We inhale, roll into the plank pose. Sustain, stabilize, squeeze the inner thighs, pull the shoulders back, core is tight. Really get into that Pitta. The energy moving and flowing is in the Vata. And of course, we're waking up the Kapha, who needs a little motivation this morning. Bend the elbows, draw the knees down for those that like to Chaturanga with the knees down, otherwise stay with the legs straight. Bend the elbows, hug them in towards the torso, not out like chicken wings. And then pull your chest forward, heart first to touch the ground. Inhale, lift up, coming into cobra. Press the tops of the feet down. Exhale, press back, child's pose. Take a rest. Ladies, left big toe over the right. Gentlemen, right big toe over the left. Last big breath here. Inhale, come into all fours. Tuck the toes for plank position. Left hand stays down. Sweep over and open up towards the right for side plank variation. Really nice and strong. Reach the right arm overhead. If you want to lift the right leg, go right ahead. Stay here for 3. Option to take the left knee down to the ground for 2. Good. Let's add on here. Elbow and knee meet. Extend. Here we go. One more. Yes, you can. There we go. Very good. One more for good luck. Excellent. And release. Come all the way back down. Plank pose. Other side. Straight onto the other side. Optional vinyasa. Optional little flow. Reach the left arm over. Stoke the fire. Get into the breath. Lift the left foot up off the ground. Stay here for 3. You got this. Remember, you know where you're going. Hips are high for 2. Push down into that right hand for 1. Here we go. Elbow and knee meet. Find the balance. Extend. If you fall out, laugh it off. I always do too. And then elbow in. Exhale. Extend. Last one for good luck. And extend. Very nice. Let's float all the way back. And we Chaturanga together. Lower down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Roll the shoulders back. Lift the chest. Exhale, child's pose. 3, 2, 1. Roll yourself up. And then take the legs out in front of you. However you like to do that. I have some blocks here to work through floating, but for more intermediate students, otherwise everyone else, you're just gonna simply extend the legs out long in front of you. If you're working on low lasana, you're gonna push your hands down into your blocks, lift your knees, lift your feet, extend the legs, and come to a seated position. From here, please bring, ladies, your right knee in. Gentlemen, bring your left knee in. Flex the foot that's extended. The leg comes down by the side, Janu Shirshasana. If you have a strap, then let's use it. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold forward. If you don't have a strap, then just simply slide your hands down your leg until you feel comfortable. I also like to place something underneath my right knee. Always support the body. Excuse me. Release the strap. Pull yourself back up. Bring the knee in. Plant the foot. You want to have a fist distance away from the thigh to the foot. Wrap the extended leg's arm, that same side. So ladies, left arm wrap around the right thigh, gentlemen the opposite. Extend the right arm out in front of you, ladies. Gentlemen, extend the left. Follow the gaze, trace it all the way around, and release the palm down. Very soft here, belly pulls in on the exhale. Inhale, lift that back arm up, come all the way around. Extend, and let's go ahead and change legs. Preparing for Janu Shirshasana on this side, and then release the left knee down or right knee down, depending on which leg you're on. Use your strap. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, let's come down, forward fold. The strap should be around the ball of your foot or through the arch of the foot. Pull the chest forward, bring the hips back. Only go to where you feel a gentle stretch. And now we come all the way back up. Remove the strap. Bring the knee in. Wrap the right arm around that left leg and extend the left arm out, or vice versa. And then start to follow the gaze around and release. Hang out here, a couple breaths. Reach that left arm up, follow the gaze, come all the way around, and release the leg out long in front of you. Forward fold, slide the hands down the leg, point the toes first, and then flex the feet. Chin towards the chest. And then from here, we're going to pull ourselves back up, bend the knees, scooch down slightly towards the center of your mat, and then roll yourself down onto your backs. Please take your right knee in towards your chest. Ladies, start with the left, extend the right. Gentlemen, extend the left. Right hand, left knee, ladies, left hand, right knee, men. Extend the opposite arm and twist, supine twist. Inhale back to center, calm. Draw the opposite knee in, extend the opposite leg. And we're going to twist to the other side. Melt here. And then let's come back to center. Bring both knees in towards your chest. Hug yourself here. Last pose is bridge pose. Hips to the sky. Plant the feet. Press the shoulders down. Waist is high. Pull the belly in. Exhale. And start to lower down when you're ready. All the way down. Shavasana. Extend the legs out long on the mat. If you'd like, you can use a chair and put your legs on top of it. Release the palms up and open to receive. And take 5 rounds of breath. Jai Gurudev. When you're ready, go ahead and begin to make your way up to a seated position. Ladies, roll to the left. Gentlemen, roll to the right. This helps to prevent any back strain by rolling to one side first before coming up. We'll reposition ourselves back into our seat. So you can sit on a block or go ahead and sit yourself up where you're comfortable. And then from here, we close our eyes, returning to our sankalpa, whatever that is for you today, whatever that intention is. Coming back into balance, coming back into harmony, coming back to restoring, coming back to yourself. Jai Gurudev. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Jai Bhagwan Ki Jai. Namaste. Namaste, y'all. And I hope this clinic and workshop was very helpful for you for understanding a little bit more about the Ayurvedic principles of the doshas, the gunas, and the koshas, and how they work together to restore balance as opposed to just creating imbalance in our lives. And I'll see you in our next class coming soon. Much love.